Moffat City Consolation Summer. None of it mattered and the entire show was stupid.
We'll talk about the premise, I suppose. So, yeah, John got shot with a tranquilizer rather than getting shot in the face with a bullet. So, he's still alive. Sherlock makes Mycroft admit the fact that, yes, he does have a sister, and he also makes Mycroft kind of explain a little about why Sherlock can't remember her. Apparently, Sherlock has repressed all of his memories of Eurus because she's done something so horrific to him as a child. This is slowly explored throughout the episode, and is kind of the driving force of the episode. Sherlock really wants to know who she is, why is she so crazy, because Mycroft basically says that she's, batshit crazy and she's locked in an asylum, but as much as she's crazy, she's also incredibly smart and has incredible manipulative abilities. So Sherlock is very intrigued by her and wants to go and see her, so him and John go out to this very secluded facility called Sharonford, where she's held prisoner, and they go and have a bit of a conversation with her. This conversation goes sour very quickly, and we learn that she has manipulated every single person on the complex, and she is actually running the complex, and that's why she was able to sneak out and, I don't know, have this affair with Watson and do other things. Yeah. It's kind of at this point where the episode really starts to wobble and lose me. At the beginning, the episode felt like it was returning back to what Sherlock was, and what made the series so good. But then suddenly it just full speeds ahead into this James Bond pastiche with like elements of SAW, and it just gets ridiculous. This house of horrors that Eurus has set up for Sherlock. It's literally to the point to where, someone has to shoot someone in order so someone else can stay alive, and they don't want to do it, so someone shoots themselves and they have to go into another room and start solving all these problems, and if they don't do it, then someone dies, and it's the most un-Sherlock thing the show has ever done. It really just feels like the creators behind Sherlock don't really care to tell detective stories. They want to start telling spy, espionage things, and frankly, based on what they've done with the Sherlock stuff, they're not good at these spy stories anyway. This kind of James Bond tone that they've gone for lately just hasn't done the show any favors. There was a lot of imagery that was used in Skyfall that suddenly found its way into Sherlock Series 3. Now there's a lot of imagery in Series 4 that feels very, again taken from Skyfall and Spectre. We have the burning down of the ancestral home of, Sherlock and his family, just much like James Bond's ancestral home gets destroyed in Skyfall. The showing the imagery of MI6 so much. This episode was so Bond, it was cringy. And I mean, when Bond is good, Bond is amazing. But when Bond is bad, it is just terrible, and this was terrible Bond. Like, if you're gonna pastiche Bond, at least pastiche the good shit. Don't pastiche the shit. So for me, I mean, this story failed completely. There are a ton of what the fuck moments throughout this episode. I'm sitting here scratching my head thinking, why did Series 3 end with this Moriarty video of, did you miss me? Did you miss me? Why? Explain this to me. Why did Eurus use this video? How did Eurus get this video onto every screen in the country? What was the goal? The whole beginning of Series 4 was to learn what Moriarty's plan is. I guess Moriarty didn't have a plan because he's dead. Nor did he have a fallback plan should he die and Sherlock live. Nor was anyone like, say, Sebastian Moran seeking revenge for the death of his friend. See what I mean? The show kind of fell into, a lot of issues that Doctor Who falls into, where it's all this setup and then there's no payoff. They make you invest and they tease all these things, and then there's nothing that pays off. What was Eurus's plan in teasing and flirting with Watson? Why did she invest in Sherlock with that Culverton case? What was gained from that? She says she got that Culverton letter from a mutual friend. Who? How did she... How? Was it Magnuson? Was it Moriarty? Was it Mycroft? Well, now we're never going to know. All in all, Eurus was probably Sherlock's weakest villain. It is not at all what I had envisioned that the show would do with something like with another Holmes sibling or with Sherringford. I really trusted that the creators behind this show were going to do something a little bit more clever, and I'm shocked with the final result. Again, they really teased this Moriarty return. They really made you feel like there was going to be this incredibly shocking twist. You know, how did Moriarty return? You know, I genuinely expected a twin scenario. Moriarty has a brother in the books. I thought, well, here we go. He has a brother in the books, so just make it a twin brother. Do something crazy. I thought maybe because of Eurus's manipulative abilities, we would have seen where Moriarty maybe sent his twin brother to go be kind of a guinea pig for her or something like that. All it was Eurus apparently recorded footage of Moriarty saying things and, you know, put them up on screens as Sherlock and John and Mycroft were going through her House of Horrors. There was no point in bringing Moriarty back. Another kind of what the fuck moment was during these, you know, cruel games that Eurus is making Sherlock go through. One of them is he has to call Molly and get her to say, "I love you," over the phone. They call Molly, she's in her kitchen, she's crying in the sink. It's like, oh my gosh, what's going on with Molly? What's causing her to be all sad and stuff? Well, you know what? We never fucking know. The show never fucking tells us. But what we do know is she's crying on the phone, doesn't want to speak to Sherlock, finally speaks to Sherlock, and in this very cruel scene, Sherlock has to kind of manipulate her into basically saying, "I love you." But the only way she's actually going to say she loves him is if he says it first. So he has to, you know, say it like he means it, and then she finally says it, and then that's it. You know, it's never, the episode never picks up on that thread and never discusses it again. And it reminded me very much of the tube scene in The Empty Hearse when Sherlock deactivates the bomb but still acts like it's still going so that he can force John to apologize and admit that he, you know, cares about Sherlock still. And it was just emotionally manipulative, and to not see Sherlock and Molly kind of come back from that or discuss that or anything was just ridiculous. So I mean, overall I would say it's a shame, because the first 20-30 minutes of the episode felt really Sherlock-y, felt really fun. I was getting really excited, feeling like finally we've put this motherfucking spy shit behind us and we're really gonna go at a real fun, solid mystery. Hopefully a creepy villain, maybe a crazy return of Moriarty, some kind of incredibly fun game that was going to happen. In the end, it was just this epic dud of exploration into the Holmes family history, where he just has a lunatic sister who, you know, has a knack for murder. You know, series 1 and 2 were amazing. You know, there was little things that, you know, don't work very well in the first couple of series, but on a whole, they're brilliantly written, wonderfully directed pieces of television, just really clever stuff. Whereas, you know, the show now has just ended on such a low that I don't really know how they can recover from this. I love the characters. I love the settings. I like most of the visuals. You know, I like, there's a lot of clever things that are done in this series, but series 4, despite its moments of cleverness, the execution has just been appalling. It's the show has forgotten what it means to be a detective crime thrilling show, and has drifted into this world of James Bond, and that's just not what Sherlock is as a show. I'm not talking about Sherlock Holmes the canon, just Sherlock as the show. It was never a spy show. There we are. I don't really know what else to say about this episode, because I'm just going to go around in circles about how stupid it was. Awesome, yep, canonical nods here and there, whoop-de-doo. You know, I'd say the last probably 90 seconds of the episode got me excited a little bit again, because it was kind of like, a return to Baker Street, a return to, watching briefly Holmes and Watson engage with clients who were coming to see them. And it's like, that's what I wanted to see. I didn't need to go down this stupid rabbit hole of family secrets and drama. I'm sure I'm going to get a ton of people shouting at me, what do you mean it's lazy? You write something better. Well, I have written something better. Go buy it. Whatever. Whatever. What did you think? Comment below.